Central Ballroom in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Lenny Leonard, joined as always by Chikara-san, kicking things off. Singles competition between Johnny Gargano, representing Ronin, taking on Jimmy Rave. Well-traveled athlete making his Dragon Gate USA pay-per-view debut here tonight. Gargano starting things off, taking control of the wrist. Taking Jimmy Rave off his feet. Johnny Gargano and Ronin had a rough go of it in our last event right here in Atlanta, losing a six-man tag to Blood Warriors. Tonight, it is Naruki Doi teaming up with Shima to go after World One of Masato Yoshino and Pac for the Open the United Gate Championship later on.
You know, right now we've got a tough challenge here for Johnny Gargano taking on Jimmy Rave. You mentioned before, a well-traveled indie veteran. It was several years ago that Jimmy Rave was in the same position that Johnny Gargano is, looking to make a name for himself on the rise in the independent circles, and now Jimmy Rave coming back as the well-traveled veteran, looking to maybe knock Johnny Gargano down. As you mentioned, Ronin not having a great weekend, and Jimmy Rave looking to close out Sunday here with a win over Johnny Gargano.
Jimmy Rave made his Dragon Gate USA debut back in Burlington, North Carolina, and opened the Southern Gate. Looked very impressive, winning one of the Breakout Challenge matches and then losing a tough match in the finals of the Breakout Challenge to Eric Cannon. Right now, he again controls the leg. A little bit of mat wrestling. Jimmy Rave getting the advantage here in the early going of Johnny Gargano, and you got to wonder how much Gargano still reeling from the defeats over the weekend at the hands of Blood Warriors. It was at Open the Southern Gate that Gargano lost a hard-fought, hard-hitting matchup to Shima, in which both men came out of that match with a little bit of damage. Gargano with some still lingering ringing in his ears, and Shima with welts on the side of his face and on his neck from the just hard-hitting, intense battle between those two men in Burlington, North Carolina.
Very different contest that we're seeing here. There's not that rivalry, that disrespect that Blood Warriors shows not only the fans, but also Ronin here. A little bit of respect there. Jimmy Rave letting Johnny Gargano get up to his feet. Still a little bit of a feeling out process between these two in the early goings of this contest. Lenny, you mentioned a couple times over the weekend, Jimmy Rave looks to be in phenomenal shape here for his Dragon Gate debut, Dragon Gate USA debut. The best shape I've seen him in quite some time.
And Jimmy Rave is a guy who's always had a great deal of ability and just, for some reason or other, was never able to put the whole package together, but seems to have really rededicated himself to his craft. He's gotten in the best shape of his life, and the sky's the limit for him here with a good showing against Johnny Gargano in our opener here. You could definitely see Jimmy Rave earning himself a spot as a regular competitor here in Dragon Gate USA. I mean, we've seen it before, time and time again here in Dragon Gate USA, with athletes getting opportunities. Johnny Gargano, a prime example, a guy who started out on the bonus card before the main show would even begin. And now, not only is he a main player with Ronin, he's made trips to Japan for Dragon Gate. He is headlining pay-per-view events. Johnny Gargano is a prime example of what Jimmy Rave has to look forward to with a successful debut here in this matchup.
And you mentioned those trips over to Japan like the other members of Ronin had themselves. Many years ago, Jimmy Rave was one of those guys making the trips over to Dragon Gate in Japan. Those days, you know, a while ago, looking for that opportunity again here today, definitely at the expense of Johnny Gargano, and now Johnny Gargano using the speed there. Oh, just a shot, followed up by a nice neck breaker there, much to the adulation of the crowd here in Atlanta.
Yeah, Gargano starts to pick up the pace, and hearing it from the crowd here in Atlanta as the feeling out process, at least on Johnny Gargano's part, seems to have served its purpose here, and he now looks to intensify his attack on Jimmy Rave from an offensive standpoint. Scoop and a slam, and now Gargano out to the apron. A Up and over, slingshot press right down across the chest. Immediately hooks the leg, but only gets a near fall, just one, before Jimmy Rave slips out the back door as referee Jason Harding right there. And
interesting hook of the leg there too by Johnny Gargano, more up on the calf and like wrapped his arm around the knee. And again, just putting a little extra tweak on the leg, I think, just to let Jimmy Rave know it's going to be a little bit more difficult if you're going to kick out there with his knee all buckled up like that. Gargano getting ready to whip him in, but no, holds on, does Jimmy Rave, reversal.
Now the ropes goes Gargano up and over, and Rave just takes his head off with the clothesline. Nicely done by Jimmy Rave. And just that quickly, Rave has assumed control of the matchup. Right to the face, nothing fancy about that. Jimmy Rave just kicked him right in the mouth. Now using Johnny Gargano to basically choke himself. Japanese stranglehold by Jimmy Rave as he has slowed the pace down here. We had seen Gargano really pick it up over the past minute or so with that burst of adrenaline. But right now, Jimmy Rave slowing things down, knee in the small of the back, trying to wear Johnny Gargano down here as these hot TV lights start to take their toll on both these athletes. And Gargano trying to get back to his feet here.
Yeah, he's broken up the lock around the neck a little bit, back up to his feet, reverses it into a Japanese stranglehold of his own, and Jimmy Rave doesn't want any part of that. Flips him right back over, and right back into the Japanese stranglehold goes Jimmy Rave.
Both men showing excellent counter wrestling skills right there, able to reverse positions. But as Jimmy Rave back in control, as Jason Harding asking Johnny Gargano if he wants to give it up. Gargano says no, as Rave again really cranks down on that hold. Knee right between the shoulder blades, extra added dimension.
Gargano again fighting his way out of it here. Little help from the crowd here, back up, flips Jimmy Rave over. Decides not to go for the stranglehold, but instead goes for a pin.
Only one count again as he slips out. Snapmare by Rave, right to the rear chin lock. Nope, Japanese stranglehold. Jimmy Rave clearly with a defined strategy in mind here as he wears down Johnny Gargano. And you gotta wonder if perhaps Rave's plan isn't to frustrate the youngster Johnny Gargano here by continually thwarting his efforts to escape, trapping him back at the same hold, and now looking to punish him. Variation of a surfboard here with the knees of Jimmy Rave right into the back of Gargano. But nice escape by Gargano in a reversal.
And Jimmy Rave's attempts at frustrating Gargano seem not to be working so well. Gargano able to reverse that hold several times. Jimmy Rave, though, still going right back to it here. You mentioned before, Lenny, he's got a plan, and he is going to execute that plan. And that's the frustration here. That's his plan, I would assume. The youthful exuberance of Johnny Gargano here. The experience of Jimmy Rave. That is what we're seeing here. And again, the crowd firmly behind Johnny Gargano as he makes it back up to his feet. Nicely done with the neck breaker, does Jimmy Rave.
Yeah, he'd been working over the neck of Gargano for several minutes with that Japanese stranglehold, and now just dumped him right on the back of his head there. Very aggressively by Rave, who takes his time and measures Gargano for a hard forearm, and now Rave into the ropes.